Hello and welcome back to Tales Untold. I'm Erica.
And I'm Wyatt.
And today is our season finale of season 2. How exciting.
It's exciting, but I also don't know how season 2 just flew by.
No, it disappeared on us. I think the 6-week break is going to fly by also.
I'm hoping it doesn't, but at the same time, I think it is.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we can actually get the things done that we want to do.
Yeah.
This time anyway. So today's topic is kind of a mind bender, I think. I had a little bit of difficulty wrapping my head around some of the theory. Because scientists don't really know a whole lot about it in general. Like they have guesstimations, like they can make assumptions. We only just took a picture 7 months ago. We are going to be diving into a black hole. Do you know when the first discovery of a black hole was? Do you know anything about the discovery of a black hole?
No. But objects whose gravitational fields are too strong for light to escape were first considered in the 18th century. So, I'm assuming that falls under black hole, or black hole falls into that.
Yep. So Einstein's theory
of
relativity, in 1916. That's it.
Well, his theory was published in 1915.
I know, but I feel like it should be a longer time. I feel like Albert Einstein was further out of reach. I guess I never really thought about it. Yeah.
He was alive when I think my grandma was alive.
But I didn't. That feels weird. That feels wrong.
That does. He feels like someone that would be like
1500s, like much older. But I never really thought about it.
When was Nikola Tesla? You know what I'm trying. I don't know how to pronounce it. Really?
He was the 1800s, so they could have been alive. They were alive at the same time.
Yeah, they were.
That's craziness.
And then there's also
something I don't know.
Oppenheimer.
I don't know. I just never. Like, we talked about them, but they always felt so far away in school when we talked about them.
Yeah, but they were right there.
Yeah, especially for me, that long ago. Obviously, it was still a long time ago.
When did Einstein die?
He was a weirdo. Yeah, they were about the same age. Yeah. 1955. Wow.
That's insane.
That is crazy. I never really thought about how old they were when these things happened. So
everybody makes it seem like it was like hundreds of years ago.
So we've come a really long way in just 100 years? I mean, I always knew that, but I feel like
those people were alive less than a century ago.
Yeah.
Or Albert was, anyway. And, I guess, Tesla.
Yeah, because they both died in the 1950s. And that feels wrong in and of itself.
Yeah. They were
alive in the 1950s. They lived through World War I and World War II.
Well,
1916 and 1932. Or 1940.
Tesla didn't, I don't think.
Yeah, he died.
He was in the middle of it, but I don't think. When did World War II end? 45?
Oh, so he died right at the beginning of World War II. But still, that's crazy.
It started in 1939 and ended in 1945.
Yeah, so he was right in the middle of it when he died.
So Einstein's theory of relativity, in simple terms, describes gravity not as a force, but as the curvature of space-time caused by mass and energy.
That hurts my head.
How does one even just think about this?
He had a lot of time on his hands. I don't know. You gotta care about these things too. You gotta be a scientist. This guy was only a couple years older than me when he discovered general relativity.
How old was he?
36. Well, that's when he published it. He was 36.
So, maybe 34.
Yeah. And so he had been working on this for how long? But it's crazy.
Yeah. He could have been working on it like a lot longer.
Oh, yeah.
Like since his high school career.
Yeah, so he did a lot more. That's crazy.
That is. An example of his theory is, like, imagine space-time as a trampoline. A heavy object, like a planet, placed on it would create a dip, and other objects, like balls, would move along the curved surface. Which, I mean, is still a strange
I did
thing
see
to
a video.
digest.
It's really funny because I actually just scrolled past a video showing that exact thing that you described. And I had no context because I don't watch videos like that with sound.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what was happening. I was just watching this guy put something heavy in the middle of a trampoline, and then he threw a bunch of teeny balls and they went around in circles. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I just kept scrolling because I had no idea what it was about. And I didn't want my feed to be blown up with all of the trampoline. Yeah, that makes sense because everything would just be forced down to the center. Kind of like flushing a toilet. Like everything's just going to go that way. Because toilets don't use electricity.
No.
Which is crazy. Like, who does that? I mean, yeah, nowadays.
Some
but like,
weird toilet thing.
Yeah, but the power goes out. You can still use it. It's craziness. Yeah, black holes kind of hurt my head a little bit.
They definitely... It's hard to comprehend.
It is. Definitely.
Because, like, something being so dense that anything cannot escape from it. And then even light.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so strong it can make it devoid of light. That's insane.
Yeah, like... It's just not in my thought.
No. It's not in your scope of brain power.
Yeah.
So, like I said, they actually just recently took a photo of a black hole. Black hole in galaxy M87.
Which is the Milky Way? Or?
I believe it's somewhere in the middle of the Milky Way. And they did this back in October of 2024. Yeah. So I think it's kind of cool that they only just discovered a process to do this.
When did they take this photo? Oh, no, not when. Where?
Well, that's the fun part for me, because they actually needed to use multiple telescopes across the globe to take a photo. Because it's so far away that, and it's something that makes light disappear. So essentially all that it looks like is...
nothing.
Well, no, it looks like an eclipse.
Oh.
So essentially all you're seeing in that picture is the event horizon, which is that big glowing ring on the outside of the black hole. And just even thinking about the different layers of a black hole, like, it blows my mind. So I thought of this episode to be more about a conspiracy where there's actually a group of people that believed that a black hole was created on Earth and we've been sucked into it, but we haven't realized yet. That was my initial thought process for this episode. But in trying to research that, I actually came across that physicists believe we might actually be in a black hole.
So how would that be possible? Because I thought a black hole was nothing.
We're essentially on, like, the other side of it. So, like, we're living in a projection of what would... It hurt my head. Honestly, I still don't really understand it, so I'm probably explaining this atrociously.
And that's what probably just doesn't make sense to me, because black holes don't make sense to me.
Exactly. Like,
I mean, all I know is, like, once
things
you get
go poof.
in,
Yeah, it's like a whirlpool. You're screwed.
Actually kind of scary.
It is. And to think that we have one in our neighborhood, if you will.
Let's just hope no mass gets sucked into their space junk.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing too, is that there were scientists in the article I was reading that we actually don't have the technology to create a black hole. And if we did, it would be so small that its gravitational pull to pull anything inside of it wouldn't have an effect. It would suck up dust. So, like in those games where, you move a little creature around with its mouth open and it gets bigger as you suck stuff up.
Like Snake? Like the Google Snake, where you eat the apples and it gets...
No, these are the things where, like, there's this big open mouth on the ground. And then, like, as you go over things like cars and street posts and stuff, and it sucks. I don't know the name of it. I've only ever seen the ad, and
I know what you... Yeah.
Yeah, that game. So, I think that's what people think of black holes, is that as it sucks stuff up, it gets bigger. I don't think that happens.
You don't?
No. From what I was reading about all of this, I don't think it gets bigger. I think they are what they are. They suck up what they can, and then eventually it dissipates.
I thought they got bigger.
I don't think so.
Because
they might have the capability. I'm no scientist.
I mean, they don't even really know.
That's what I'm saying. Like
they're much studied, but not fully understood.
Right, but they're so far away and they're hard to get to, and then, you end up...
You don't want to get near this thing.
Right, you end up near the accretion disk, and you're screwed.
But, like, my idea of it is kind of like a tornado, except a lot worse.
Yeah, I was thinking more of a whirlpool, but yeah.
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 Tornado, like...
Same deal.
So it's a small... More things get added to it, it gets bigger.
But a tornado, it doesn't get bigger because it sucks things up.
No.
It gets bigger because of the atmosphere and the fluctuation in the temperature.
That's just what I've always kind of...
envisioned, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think they grow based on what they've consumed.
I always thought they did because it's mass being added to...
Well, I think that's why it's called singularity, and that's also what they don't know, is they don't know what happens when it gets sucked in. Like, is there something on the other side and it ends up over there? Or does it get sucked in, compressed, and then excreted somewhere else, and then it's just a whole other...
portal.
Yeah, and then, here it says it's a relativistic jet. It looks like...
I don't think anybody really wants to figure it out.
I mean, I don't want to figure it out the hard way.
I mean, it is...
Yeah.
Like, you're gone.
Yeah, like, if we had created a black hole on Earth that was big enough to swallow Earth, I don't think we would be having this conversation.
No. I remember the protocol accelerator thing.
Yeah, that's real.
During the eclipse.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
When they just decide to run that and potentially create a black hole.
I think that's what people are thinking that actually happened, that they really did create a black hole, and I'm like...
We would know, I feel like.
Or we wouldn't.
I mean,
we just wouldn't be anymore.
Because, like, the second that little thing... I mean, they might have, like, a safety procedure to get rid of it. I don't really know.
But, well, that's kind of that's the article I was reading, actually, was about the Event Horizon Telescope. And you can't. Like, they don't have the technology to make a black hole big enough to do damage.
But another thing that's actually just crossed my mind is it doesn't really make sense to me that a black hole is essentially... Black holes of stellar mass form when massive stars collapse at the end of their life cycle.
Right.
So how could people or scientists just create one?
That's what I'm saying.
That is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like we don't have that technology because it needs so much energy. It needs so much mass.
We don't have a mini star down here.
Right. And even if we could, create something like that, it would be on such a tiny scale.
So minute.
That it would be gone. It would dissipate before it did any damage.
It'd, like, eat itself pretty much.
Pretty much. So it wouldn't work out. And so, like
Thankfully.
I said, right, I know. But I'm sure they're trying anyway.
I don't know why.
For the sake of science. Curious minds. I don't know.
I'm not that curious.
No.
That's one of those things I can stay curious about.
I know. This episode definitely has taken a turn that I did not think it was going to.
Oh, wait. I actually have this written down in my notes. It can grow by absorbing mass from its surroundings.
That's crazy.
I didn't even realize.
But I wonder how much. I wonder by how much. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder. There must be
that much.
There must be an end point. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like a bag.
Yeah, like you can only fill so much before it's just like, yeah, all right. Yeah, and then
I feel like it would probably explode since it is a star. Or a dead star.
Right, so it's a dead star, so it's already full of energy and mass.
And like hot, whatever.
So do you think that maybe that's where the Big Bang came from? The destruction of a black hole?
I'm not entirely familiar with the Big Bang Theory.
I love how you pause thinking of the show.
Yeah. That's exactly
I knew that's exactly what you did. Well, I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. Is that there was essentially a Big Bang that created a bunch of mass and energy, and then our sun was born, right?
I mean, that could be possible because if a black hole is floating through space and, like, say
sucking
that
out
there was...
mass.
Like, there's other galaxies, so what if it sucked up another galaxy and just...
Yeah, and then it just threw it up all over the place. Like, this is too much for me.
Or exploded or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it does, imploded. And then all of that mass that it has compressed...
I don't think it would have imploded, because then there would be essentially nothing if it...
There would be no black hole.
Yeah.
So whatever was inside is now outside and free. So then we have our sun... And then we have our planets.
That's true.
And then the gravitational pull of those things in space create what we have now. So that actually is a thought that the physicists had. Another theory that they had, other than the fact that we're already living in a black hole, is that we came from a black hole. So physicists really have their work cut out for them, trying to figure out the whole black hole situation. It's really hard to wrap my head around the idea that they think that we live in what they call a holographic universe, where all of what we see and perceive is, in fact, encoded at our universe's boundary.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't.
To me.
I know. I
don't know if it's because I don't know those words, but
I've read it several times, and I think I grasp the concept, but the idea that we are a hologram, I guess? Or a mirror image, I suppose? So does that mean we're existing in two different places at once? But not because it's just a reflection.
What?
So how different does that make the actual? Or like, what if we're the actual and there's a holographic universe elsewhere? Why can't that be true?
I mean, I feel like, honestly, if either of those would be true, it would probably more likely be that we're the hologram reflection.
I don't know. It's really hard to think of.
How would that even be, like, possible in a way?
That we're the holographic or not the holographic, you mean?
Just the entire thing.
I don't know. It's one of their theories because...
Because by definition, a hologram is something... is there, but like if you touch it, I'm pretty sure your hand will just go through it, right? I mean, that's what I think of when the word hologram is said.
But I don't think that they're operating independently. So we're a mirror image of what's happening on the other side. So we're not acting independently. It's like sitting next to a mirror and you put your hand out. Your mirror hand is going to go out too. It's not independent.
That's so...
It's hard. I think that's what it means.
That theory doesn't really make... There's not a lot of evidence. There's actually probably no evidence to really back...
They're physicists. Even if they did, I would probably fall asleep before I understood it. But there's also the idea... I think I mentioned it, that our universe is within a black hole of a larger universe. Mm-hmm. Imagine how big that black hole would have to be to swallow our universe.
Like the entire universe?
Yes. So that would make us living in a universe. I mean, in a black hole as a universe.
As a massive.
Yes. And so the outskirts that we don't know of yet is the lining of that black hole. I don't know about that.
That's weird.
I kind of like my Big Bang Theory. Where the Big Bang is, the...
I mean, I don't want to say that would make sense, because we don't really know what black holes are and what...
Yeah, we don't have enough knowledge, but
that would make sense.
I'm not going to say it, but I am. So it's called reaching the equilibrium, that part that we were talking about where a black hole is in its final state. Stephen Hawking...
One of these was the smartest people.
Right, which was actually in our lifetime, which is even crazier than the Albert Einstein idea.
I remember seeing the news article that he died.
Yeah.
I think in like 2019.
I don't know.
I don't either.
So he created created? Is that the right word? He founded the idea of Hawking radiation, so that when black holes reach what they call the equilibrium, when they've, collected as much mass as they possibly can, they're going to emit radiation heat and just slowly dissipate over time. So I guess my Big Bang theory is a bust, if that's true. But why can't it happen rapidly?
Well, why would your Big Bang theory be a bust if that
Because
happened?
it says it happens over an extremely long period of time. So it eventually fades into nothingness, so it just kind of lets everything go.
Oh.
So it's I kind of had the right idea.
But what if it gets...
But why can't
What if it just stops in places?
Yeah, so why can't it...
But that's saying that this theory is correct.
Right. It's Stephen Hawking. I don't want to go against Stephen Hawking. But
they're called theories for a reason.
Right. So it also says that there's a final burst as a black hole evaporates, its temperature increases, and in the final stages it could emit a burst of energy, potentially in the form of gamma rays. So it's not... So it could potentially have been the Big Bang? I mean, if the black hole is big enough, right? Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's not like we're going to get anything set in stone anyway, but especially from me. But it's definitely interesting to think about.
Black holes are super interesting. Everything about these theories is interesting. A little hard to comprehend at times.
Definitely. I think I need a break. I don't know. I never really thought too much about black holes before.
I only did when the eclipse happened and they said that they were going to run the particle accelerator.
All I can think of is Back to the Future when you say particle accelerator.
That's a flux capacitor.
All right, sure. But that's all I can think of.
Particle accelerator, when I think of it, is from The Flash.
Oh, I don't think I watched it. Surprise!
I'm not.
I find it almost comforting that black holes can die. You know, that they come to an end at some point.
And they're not just big, mean holes.
That just take everything all the time forever, and once they're there, you're kind of fucked. I mean,
Yeah.
the minuscule lifetime that we have in comparison to it, sure, it might feel that way.
Mm.
But, like, at least there's hope, I guess you can call that.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's something.
Just the idea of a body being so big that even light can't escape it. Like, that's the hardest part to comprehend, because light is light.
Yeah, that is for sure hurting my head. That things just don't escape
I mean, I know that
and...
black is the absence of color, but... So black is like the absence of color, so...
No.
Yeah, it is.
White is the absence of color.
I'm pretty sure black is the absence
Black is all of the color. You mix all the colors together, you don't get white. You get black. White is absence of color.
No, the absence of color is black.
It might be for, like, matter. So what does it say specifically about the color black?
The absence of color can refer to black, which is seen as the absence of light, or white, which is often seen as the presence of all colors, or a lack of colorants.
What? It sounds like you just said they're both the lack of color and they're both all of the colors at the same time. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're referring to.
I'm preferring to, like, actual colors. And, like, since a black hole is black.
No, so if you're talking about, like, actual colors, black is all of the colors.
So, a black hole and black being the absence of color would make sense to why light.
Right. If you're talking about
Can't escape it.
light, like energy, light.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would make sense.
I think that would make sense. But with that definition that you just read,
It's confusing
it
because...
says both. It says that they're, which I guess they are both because it depends on what you're talking about.
And then it also says, here's a more detailed explanation. Black is the absence of light.
Yes.
But that's it. What?
Not white. It's the absence of light.
Okay. So, Google is tweaked. It's telling me weird answers. And to be fair, it is the AI generated overview thing, whatever it is. So, white is the absence of color, but black is the absence of light.
Yes.
So I guess...
They're both correct.
Yeah.
It's not just about color.
So I guess it makes sense why light cannot escape
Yeah.
the black hole, because black is the absence of light, not color.
Yes. Yes. Particular words, man.
I was always under the assumption that it was absence of color. That may be slightly Google's fault.
I mean, I can understand where you would get it because, you know, when things are dark, it's like there's nothing,
No-
you know,
no
like it's
color.
nothingness. And also we're talking about the black hole. It sucks everything
Literally
in.
nothingness.
Yes. So it definitely makes me curious. But my brain is a little too tired to try to fully understand a black hole.
I feel like there is no way to fully understand it.
Not yet, anyway.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Like, hopefully we won't fully understand it.
Hopefully not in the bad way.
I mean, is there a good way, though? No?
I mean, at a distance, yeah. You know, from here. It stays in its neighborhood. We'll stay in our neighborhood, and then we can be friends.
Like, if it grows with the mass that's added to it, it'll get closer.
Yeah, but that's going to be a long time. That won't be within our lifetime. Our sun,
Hopefully not.
our sun could explode and become a black hole before that even happens.
Yeah.
So, like, that's always a possibility.
Not anytime soon, I don't think.
No, it's a long time from now.
Yeah, it will happen, though.
Yes, eventually. Which is wild to think in and of itself.
Yeah.
So my head hurts a little bit now.
Science.
Not even science. This is like, it's science for things that you can't touch and you can't see.
You can't understand fully.
Yeah, so that really adds a layer of confusion.
Moving past black holes now, what was your favorite episode to do in season 2?
Ooh. I think maybe the Titanic.
The Olympic one?
Yeah, the Titanic
Conspiracy.
being, yeah, that one.
That one was interesting.
Yeah, because I like conspiracy theories. Usually so I can just point and laugh at people and be like, are you kidding me?
That one was the last one that we actually could research without it being weird.
Right. Even this one, I didn't even really find much conspiracy, but I did find that physicists believed that we could actually be in a black hole, which is wild because they might actually have real proof.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the Titanic one because it was actually new to me, and I think the conspiracy theory itself is kind of new, isn't it?
I feel like it is, but I can't remember when I first heard it because I heard about it and never really actually researched it, but it was very interesting to learn about.
Yeah, I think it became popular in recent
times.
Yeah, recent times, past like year or so. Probably about the same time as the imploded
Ocean Gate submersible.
Yeah, that's probably what brought it back to the surface.
Very possible.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite episode?
It was probably the monkey special, but I don't think that really counts because it was a special episode. So season
That one was
2,
a lot of fun to do, though.
that was. I really liked the story and I was looking forward to the movie. But from season 2, I'd probably say the Are Aliens Real one was my favorite because I got to kind of research Area 51 again. And like I remember I used to research aliens in Project Blue Book a lot when I was a little bit younger.
And in that one, we talked a lot about the idea that the aliens weren't actually aliens. They were just escaped projects from Area 51.
I feel like that's super interesting and could be possible.
Yeah, it's totally plausible. Totally.
Which is scary.
Definitely.
In a way.
Definitely. It might be scarier than a black hole. It's a little more immediate.
Yeah, I don't know about scarier, but definitely up there.
Yeah. I don't know. Because black holes are so far away.
They can stay that way.
Yeah, well, exactly. But, like, if we end up near it, I feel like it'll happen so quickly that there's nothing we could do. I doubt we'll even know that it happened. And who's to say that we're not going to pop out the other side just fine?
Yeah. Or into a reverse...
Oh, yeah, the
universe.
The holographic universe. We'll end up on the other side and there'll be 2 of us instead.
That'll be really weird.
That'd be weird. No thanks. The world doesn't need 2 of me.
The world doesn't need 2 of anyone.
What do you think? The theme of this season kind of turned out to be conspiracy theories.
It did. In some way, shape, or form. Throughout every episode.
We kind of came back to conspiracy theories. Do you have any hopes and dreams for season 3?
I would like to record an episode about that guy Nasubi. Mm-hmm. Like the guy
Truman Show thing,
type of thing, yeah. I would also like to do an episode of us revisiting Jack the Ripper with the recent...
Oh, yes, with the recent findings. I wonder if there's been any further updates on that.
I actually haven't checked, so there might...
Because I do remember we did talk about the Jack the Ripper thing, and that there was this scarf or something that was held onto by the family.
Shawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the item that they used for the DNA testing.
Yes.
So... But that was before they actually tested it.
And I'm pretty sure it was one of the suspects that we mentioned.
I think so. It was Nope. I'm not even gonna...
I know who it is, but I feel like we should save it for the episode.
Yes. And I can't remember the name, so I'm not gonna...
I'm not gonna
butcher it.
But I know who...
Yeah. I think he might have been the one that we leaned at. Anyway,
yeah, he was in our top 2, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was episode 9 for season 1. We have a little special project.
In the works.
Yes, that we hope to release. What are we going to do? Are we going to do it before season 3 or...
I feel like we should do one before season 3, one in the middle of season 3, and one at the end of season 3.
Yeah, something like that. Because I think like maybe one a month or so.
Yeah.
At least.
And then do you think we should have that thing be special episodes or...
Well, there'll be videos.
They will be.
You'll be able to see who we are.
Well, you guys might know who I am, but...
So, no, I think it would be its own thing, because it's not a podcast at that point.
Yeah. It would just be posted on Tales Untold podcast.
Yeah, it would be, It would be by us.
I'm pretty excited to do that.
Yeah,
I think it'll be interesting.
That looks like a lot of fun. It's pretty much exactly what we're going to be doing.
What are we hoping to do over the 6-week break?
Well, there's a lot of not so interesting things. I think we talked a little bit about upheaving the intro and outro.
Yeah, making a new one.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Our special project, we just talked about that.
Yeah. Record at least 2 episodes for season 3.
Making sure that this is on Spotify as well. There are a few, I think 6 episodes.
6 episodes from season 1.
On Spotify right now. I'll tell you what, that is a mess. That is so...
What's crazy is I think you did that when the 6th episode was out.
I know, I think I was keeping up on it for a while, and then it was such a pain. I didn't have the time or the energy to give to it any longer.
And then also just kind of sketch out season 3 episodes.
Yeah, I wonder what our theme will end up being.
Probably something interesting.
I'm sure there'll be definitely more conspiracy theories because,
I feel
you know, that's who we are.
Season 1 was more urban legends, I think.
Yes. We had a lot of personal experiences for those.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we can actually go out and get some more of our own personal experiences for season 3.
That'd be very cool.
Yes, we need to do that.
Well, whatever we do, we can't go to the Conjuring house. It's closed.
Yep, still closed. No, I think we have a couple of other more local ones that I was thinking we could check out.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
I think you do too. And then I think there's a couple of other ones that I wasn't really sure what they were, but I think we need to check those out.
All right, that'll be fun to do.
Definitely.
So I guess season 3 of Tales Untold will return May 3rd. Sounds so far away, but it's not.
I know. I'm sure it'll go by quickly, especially if we do get all these projects done.
Yeah. Very quickly.
I'm tired just looking at them.
I feel like it'll be ease. I don't want to say easy.
Yeah, don't say that. That's promising too much. I'm definitely excited for the surprise episodes that we're gonna do.
I am too.
Yes, we can post about those maybe later in the week. When we finally decide what's happening, when we're gonna do it.
Or we could post after we do it.
We want to build up a little bit, right? We want some anticipation.
Well, no,
for
I
the
mean
people that
like
don't listen.
after we record it.
Oh, maybe.
And like we can. I don't even know.
I don't know. We'll post about it. We'll come up with a cover for it. Maybe put some more information up.
Yeah. I am excited to do the personal experiences type of thing. If we do end up going down that path.
Yes, we need more personal experiences. They're definitely entertaining.
It adds character to these types of things.
Yeah, a little more depth other than, oh boy, this black
This
hole.
is what happened, and
yeah.
then you can be like, oh, I experienced something like this. Or,
Yeah, we need some more experiences. Feel free to share your own experiences.
or give us video idea.
Yep.
Or recording or podcast.
Episode ideas?
Yeah, that.
Yes, we're always open to ideas. We had a few in the beginning.
We did the Duende. Mm-hmm. That was a viewer submission, and the Ghost of Gladstone Villa.
Yes. Yeah. It would have been nice to have been able to visit those places.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I guess not the Duende, but the Gladstone Villa.
Gladstone Villa would have been cool to visit, but that's on the other side of the earth.
Yeah. I don't get money for that. Not yet. Maybe one day.
This has been the Season 2 Tales Untold finale.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Wyatt.
Thanks for listening.
This is Tales Untold.